We carry around music with us the whole time. Fragments of songs that you remember, music that you love, catchy little things. But sometimes things can get stuck, like your own internal hold music. This is the story of Stuart Sharp, who late one night dreamt an entire symphony that wouldn't leave him.
Before this amazing dream, my life was pretty standard. I left school without any qualifications at all. I worked my way up to become a cook in a pub. I'd already by then got married and had a daughter, Emma. Everything was just going quite normally until the day of Ben's death. My son, Ben, died in traumatic circumstances. My wife nearly died at the same time. So we went from a very happy night to one the next morning of total devastation. On the night of the funeral, it was fraught with all sorts of strange things going through my head, so I would lie down and hope I could just rest a little while. And then I heard in the distance this angelic music. I could hear harps, cellos, angels singing. I could actually walk into the orchestra and watch what each instrument was doing. And the melody was absolutely beautiful. I'd never heard anything like it before, so I knew it was original. And it was so beautiful, it calmed me down. In the evening, it came back again, and the next day it came back again, and it never stopped, day after day, 7 days a week. The dream caused me a lot of difficulties, which I didn't really expect, to be quite honest. It kept appearing in my mind at the strangest times. I didn't really like it in the end because I didn't know what I could do with it. I mean, what could I do with it? I'm cooking in a pub. I'm not a musician. I know nothing about music. I wanted to just get on with my life, and it wouldn't let me. And I tried to drown it out of my life with alcohol. That didn't work. I never ever thought for 1 minute it was any form of psychosis, but many other people did. They thought I needed certainly some psychiatric treatment. Most people thought I was schizophrenic, and I knew if I told many more people that I would definitely be, well, almost certainly be sectioned. So I knew that one day I would have to stop being a cook and I have to find a way of going on a journey to get this music out of my head and record it. But it took a couple of years to have the courage to tell my wife and my family that I was going to go to London to record this music. But eventually I did go on that journey, and it caused me to be living on the streets of London, homeless for 5 years, living in squats. My wife divorcing me, marrying somebody else, which I don't blame at all. I was disconnected from my daughters, which was a disaster for me. And I did miss them a lot, and I thought, okay, I'm going to get this done as quickly as possible. So I'll be disconnected from the shortest possible time. I'll get it done next year. It'll be done next year. And then next year came and it wasn't, until I understood that they were having a better life with somebody else, and at least I felt, well, they're safe and happy. And however long this is going to take, one day I'll come back into their lives. I didn't have any clue that it would take me 30 years. One day, on the street, I met a jazz musician by the name of Anthony Wade. He became my good Samaritan, and he tried to help me bring the music out of my head onto a piano. So it had to be like note by note. And quite often, when I couldn't get him to understand what I wanted, I would put my head next to his and say, "Can't you hear? Can't you hear it?" It was incredibly difficult. Can you imagine trying to get 40 minutes of music out of your head, and it takes you 5 years? And eventually we got to the day of the recording. And when the baton came down and the first instrument started to play, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up, because it was exactly as I heard in my head. And I wasn't quite sure whether I was back in the dream. It was wonderful. In my mind, the journey has been successful. But in reality, for my family, it was not like that at all. And I don't think it can ever be. All in all, we've come full circle and they do understand now and things are okay. I wouldn't encourage my daughters or anyone else to go on such a journey. I'd say it's much more important to enjoy your family life and do not ever get disconnected. The music is a great comfort to me because I've been on my own for a very long time. So it's my friend. If ever I'm feeling lonely or down or whatever, I just play the music.
The voice of Stuart Sharp, accompanied by his Angeli Symphony. The fact that his brain gave him that music to try and get through what must have been the hardest possible thing, but that in turn it led him down another difficult road. And it makes sense to me that music is at once this transcendent, beautiful thing and a way of articulating our most unbearable experiences.